Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about the Traitors season finale as well as the reunion.
Listen here. Finally, we're doing it, guys. We had a lot of shows that we had to review that took the higher priority because guess what? That's what people watch. If y'all was watching Traitors, our reviews, we'd be like, we got to get it out immediately. But people was watching Love is Blind and people was watching Married at First Sight. People was even watching Married to Medicine and things like that. So we had to serve that community as well as eventually get into this community. But guess what? We're here now.
Yes.
And I'm here to yell. I'm here to argue. I'm here to holler.
Okay.
You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
So Brittany wrote down Danielle's name.
Yes.
Because she thought her vote wouldn't save her. Danielle said, "You did it to me again."
Oh, Danielle, you did it to yourself.
Danielle goes into the circle of truth, reveals that she's a traitor. Everyone is celebrating while Brittany is crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised that I was not surprised that Brittany wrote down her name.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that she would do that because, if she didn't write down her name, she wouldn't be going with the house vote, so to say. Mm. And she would stand out, looking like a possible traitor. But you sitting here crying, this don't help you either, Brittany.
At the end of the day, the game is, at this point, there's nothing that can help the Traitors win the game.
Yeah.
Nothing. Danielle had dug herself in such a hole to where she got in a talking battle with Gabby, thinking that Gabby was dumb, and right. Gabby had to tell you out her mouth, I'm not dumb.
Yes.
Right? But whole time, Danielle, talking wasn't your strong suit, right? Y'all got rid of y'all talkers. Y'all got rid of Bob the drag queen and Boston Rob. So the whole idea that you think that you can convince at the round table where you haven't really convinced anybody at the round table ever throughout the season, I knew the minute that Danielle was going to be voted out, not unfaithful, but the faithful was going to win the game.
Yeah, and also, I don't know why Danielle thinks Brittany owes her anything. This is a game, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay? I know that something happened with the reindeer games and all this type of stuff, but Brittany don't owe you nothing. Okay? She really doesn't.
Nothing.
Danielle didn't think Brittany would be the one to put the nail in the coffin, and she feels like she should have just taken Brittany out when she had the chance.
Take Brittany out?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go being a bad traitor again.
Yep.
Dylan's still alive and well.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, your whole, I think they lost the plot. I need Alan, the host, to read the manual and the instructions to the traitors every episode. Let them know, hey, y'all are supposed to go against the faithfuls.
Right.
Y'all not supposed to go against each other. You get what I'm saying?
Brittany said that people were way too suspicious of Danielle. If it wasn't tonight, it would have been the next night, then the next night until they got her out.
Facts.
The Seer will take one person to a secret meeting to reveal their identity, and we find out that the Seer is Brittany.
Lucky.
Very lucky. Dolores is ashamed of herself because she was fooled.
Dolores.
Dylan thinks that Brittany will call whoever she has a meeting with a traitor. He thinks that Brittany is a traitor. Danielle said something nice about everyone except Brittany, and he thinks that she will choose someone that she can frame. Brittany meets with Gabby. Brittany thought everyone was going to vote for Danielle. That's why she did it. Gabby is nervous about getting framed. Brittany sees her true identity as a faithful. Brittany says that she doesn't know if there are any traitors left in the game, but they will figure it out together.
Do you think Brittany made a good choice choosing Gabby?
I did, because they were going after Gabby, and it would have only made sense for her to choose Gabby.
See, I think they are such in a hole that I think the only way that she could have had a chance at this, because remember, I have the POV from my couch.
Right.
And I have the POV of knowing the results. So I'm going to act like I know, right? I think she should have chose Dylan, right? Choose Dylan. He would have revealed that he's a faithful, right? Come out, say he's a traitor, right? And really try to galvanize the woman against the men there. Hey, Dylan. Hey, Gabby. Dylan been voting for you this whole time. He's a traitor. I saw him. He's a traitor. Believe me. I understand. Now, granted, we are working in the negatives here.
Yeah.
The traitors, Carolyn, Boston Rob, Bob, all of them, Danielle, they put what's her name? Brittany in such a negative that this is a hole that she can't get herself out of.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is she should have brought Dylan if she was going to go with the whole women against men thing. Go against the strong head. Always, when you got a shot to go against the strong head, take the shot. I think she should have said Dylan, come back out and say Dylan's a traitor. You get what I'm saying?
So there was no unaliving last night. Brittany will decide what she wants to do this morning with her information. Dylan says that if Brittany says Gabby's a traitor, they have to take them both out because one of them is lying. That's the only issue I have with your theory, is that Brittany might end up leaving anyway because they would try to get Brittany and Dylan out.
It's a flawed theory.
Yeah.
There is no right answer here because at the end of the day,
Brittany's boxed in.
Whoever Brittany calls in and say traitor or faithful, guess what? We're just gonna take that person out and you. So we gonna get a 2-for-1 either way. In that situation, I just would have guess what, Dylan? You're not gonna get the money.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you out. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna lose, but you're gonna lose with me. You get what I'm saying?
So Brittany decides to tell the truth that Gabby is a faithful.
Yeah.
Gabby doesn't think that Brittany's a traitor because she thinks a traitor would have lied on her.
Yeah, maybe.
Dylan is now confused. Brittany said the truth to gain some credibility in the group. She knows that they would have gotten rid of both of them if she lied on Gabby.
Yeah.
So Alan comes in, tells us that the prize pot is at $166,800. The Traitors will take the full pot if left at the end. Now Dylan is wondering if Gabby and Brittany are both traitors.
Yeah.
The guys still think that a traitor is left. Gabby thinks Dolores has been protected by Danielle. Ivar is also suspicious of her. Dylan talks to Gabby. He tells her that it's strange how Danielle bashed Brittany, and he sees that Brittany is acting. The only reason you need to act is if you're a traitor. Brittany thinks Dylan is suspicious of her, and her best bet is to go girls versus guys at the round table.
Too late for that now, because guess what? You can't count on Dolores.
You cannot.
So it's too late.
Yeah. Dylan tells Dolores that he's been able to trust Ivar, but Dolores hasn't spent enough time with him to trust him. Ivar comes in and says, "You're not going to vote for me, right?" Dylan says at this point, you just have to get out who you don't trust. Brittany tells Gabby that Dylan is acting weird and Gabby is not writing anything or anyone off.
And I just want to reiterate this because I understand that Dylan got these boyish looks and it fooled y'all. Dylan hasn't been right about a theory at all this whole game.
Especially not on his own.
He's
been getting intel from...
Especially on his own.
Right. Intel from Rob, Derek,
So this whole thing that he's a strong player, he's not a strong player by actually coming up with actual plans and actually thinking that the traitor is the traitor. He thought Gabby was a traitor this whole time, right? So Dylan's not a strong player because he gets things right. He's a strong player because he's likable and people will listen to him. So that's why you need to get him out. He has influence. That's the thing that Danielle and what is the Carolyn, right? They underestimated that y'all don't have influence.
Exactly. And that's perfect that you said he had influence, because I'm like, he can galvanize people to whoever he thinks is a traitor because they want to believe Dylan.
They want to believe him because of his boyish looks. So this whole idea of I'm telling the truth, nobody cares about the truth if I have influence.
We like Dylan. We want to go with what Dylan said.
So guess what? Get him out of here. You get what I'm saying? So
exactly.
that's why I think it was a lose-lose.
So we get to the mission. They have to solve the clue on the scroll. Once they solve it, they jump in the car, go to the next location to get the next clue, the money, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
So the first one, impossible to hunt in any location. It was Unicorn Woods. So they travel into the woods. They answer another question to detonate a bomb that opens a door.
Yeah.
They find the money. They each get into a fancy sports car to take the money back to the castle.
It was a Bentley.
So they make it back and they win an extra $25,000 for the prize pot, but then a helicopter shows up. Alan gives them an opportunity to double their money by taking 2 bags. If you drop the bag in the burning ring of fire, you double its value, but you will be dangling underneath the helicopter. So the first 2 bags missed. The second 2 make it in, so that's $10,000 that they ended up getting. Ivar goes next. He first bag was missed, second bag he made it, and that's $5,000.
Nice.
Gabby and Dylan were up next. Dylan got his bag in, so that was $5,000. He got his second bag in for $5,000. Gabby didn't get no bags in. Brittany says that Dylan is her biggest threat right now. She needs Gabby to like her more than she likes Dylan. But the thing is, after that competition, Gabby was saying Dylan was so supportive. He was so kind. He made me feel so comfortable. He was so encouraging. Like, I felt really comfortable with Dylan. So he's got the likability factor. He just does.
And here's the thing about it, Brittany, and I'm not even going to put it on you because this is only your second time being a traitor throughout the whole season, right? People want to do their work. The only thing that I would give Boston Rob respect on is that, hey, you don't do your work. Your work doesn't start at the round table. Your work starts throughout the whole day. And too many times I watch Danielle, I watch Carolyn, I watch even what is my man Bob, right? Not do their work during the day, especially Danielle and Carolyn, right? When you saw them guys come out that, I'm going to keep saying it, come out that bookcase, I do not understand why you did not pin every guy that was in there.
Yeah.
And make it a girls versus guys thing right then and there. Hey, what are y'all doing coming out the bookcase, guys?
Right.
I would have been yelling that in the house. But this whole idea of trying to make it seem like you're trying to protect, I don't even understand this whole idea. And I understand there's a game within the game, but protecting someone who you eventually got to banish makes no sense to me. Right? Get rid of him. But, it is what it is.
So they added $37,000 to the prize pot and got $204,300 for the prize pot.
I don't know if I'm gonna review this show next season because I'm too passionate about this. Because this is ridiculous.
Okay.
I wanted a fair game here. We got Dolores.
Yeah.
We got Dylan still in the game. Danielle was now I can say for a fact Danielle's the worst traitor so far.
I don't care how long she lasted. Y'all can't.
She is the worst traitor I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I only seen this season, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
But my thing is, Brittany had the strategy. All the moves that Brittany wanted to make, I was like, yes, Brittany, yes. Like, you're doing the right thing. You're thinking along the right path. Yeah. Like, I was like totally behind where her mind was at.
Too late.
But it was too late.
And you and guess what? Mm-hmm. And you ain't got the influence. You ain't got the power. And this is only your second time being a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a little before the round table. Brittany tells Gabby and Dolores that Danielle's reaction was weird when Dylan voted her out because she was shocked. Mm-hmm. They can't assume Ivor and Dylan are not traitors.
Yeah.
Gabby says that Dylan expects people to follow him, but he has been wrong. Mm-hmm. Gabby wouldn't be surprised if Dylan turned on her. Brittany tells Dolores that Dylan is going to pick us off one by one, mm-hmm. talking about all the ladies. Dylan tells Gabby that he is voting for Brittany. Mm-hmm. Gabby isn't so sure right now.
Yeah.
Brittany says that Dylan has been after the money so hard, and Dolores says that she doesn't trust anyone. She's angry. She's not used to being around liars.
Dolores, stop it. We learned at the reunion that you was wrong 8 out of 10 times. You had an 80% success rate of being wrong.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole time. So that's what Blair said a couple episodes ago. Listen here, you know what's just as bad as having the traitor at the round table? A bad faithful.
Yeah.
And she's a terrible
Can't
faithful.
talk to them
you
about
can't
nothing.
talk to them. You can't convince them. You can't do. They just there. Yeah. And you got to get them out.
Just vote and road.
Yeah. So
Tom
look,
every time.
For no reason. For no reason. So that's why I'm like, even her trying to campaign votes you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it.
So we get to the final round table.
Yeah.
Ivar has suspicions about Dolores. Dolores says it's not in her DNA to be a liar, and Ivar is on her list. Oh. Dylan tells Brittany that he's for sure writing her name down. She's had serious suspicion this whole season. Mm-hmm. It feels like there's something more there, like Danielle and Brittany wanted to end this together and have a storybook ending.
Yeah.
Brittany said what she said to me wasn't great, but what she said to you wasn't great either when she left. Mm-hmm. She said, unbelievable. She was shocked. He was willing to risk everything to get the Seer power.
Yeah.
So Brittany thinks it's Dylan. Dylan says, Brittany, there's a chance that you were recruited. Brittany thinks that Dylan is the most faithful and he wouldn't decline being recruited.
Yeah.
He thinks the way that she's defending herself is like a traitor. He feels like she's going a little too hard. Brittany's talking about she's just a passionate person and you coming at me. Ivar thinks that Brittany may have been one of the meekest of the traitors and maybe just got outpowered in the turret when it came to getting certain people out.
Okay, so what are the votes?
So Brittany, of course, votes for Dylan. Everybody else votes for Brittany.
Goodness.
There was not no girl versus guy thing at all.
No.
Okay. So Brittany leaves, but she doesn't have to reveal her identity at this point.
No, let's stop right here for a second, right? Mm-hmm. Why would I not vote for Brittany if I'm one of the faithfuls? Mm-hmm. Because guess what? There has been a standard that has been set for this show. Why would I not follow through with it? What's the standard for this season, Blair?
You vote with the house.
No. What? The standard is... You were so confident, too.
I thought I was right.
No, you wasn't.
What's the standard?
The standard is, hey, traitors be getting traitors out.
Oh, yeah. So whenever people going hard at each other, they might both be traitors.
So why would I abandon that standard?
Right.
Because Boston Rob went at Bob the Drag Queen. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, okay. And then eventually they got Boston out because guess what? West put the little seed in there that looked like traitor on traitor because he said he knew for sure, right? And then next thing you know, Carol and Danielle going at each other.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, Brittany got Danielle out. Mm-hmm. Why would I just abandon You know what? It could be Ivar. That's stupid.
Right.
It could be Gabby. That's dumb. Guess what? We did not have to do nothing this whole season of getting people out on our own, because guess what? When we did, we got Seer out. Mm-hmm. When we did, we got Nikki out. Mm-hmm. When we did, we got all the people that was faithfuls out.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So how about we just sit back and let the traitors do the work for us? So guess what? Of course I'm gonna put Brittany name down. So that's why I'm like, the faithfuls did not earn their money this season. Not one.
Yeah,
But
the Traitors just took themselves
exactly.
out.
Like it was self-sabotage from day one.
But Brittany said that Danielle kept Dylan in for too long. He is too lovable.
Of course.
Absolutely.
We said that.
So after this, they have to go to the circle of truth. If they think a traitor is still in their midst, they can vote someone else out. Mm-hmm. Dylan said that Brittany made a good case against him, so he knows suspicion might be on him right now.
He ain't got no suspicion on him.
So I actually thought that he might have. I thought that when they got to the circle of truth, they might have considered wanting to vote again to vote him out.
Who would have voted? The only one I can think of is Gabby, because it wouldn't have been Dolores.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been Dolores. It wouldn't have been Ivar. So possibly Gabby.
Only Gabby. And in my head, I think Gabby would have just been like, I think Gabby was 100% sure that, guess what? I'm a faithful. I don't know if she was 100% sure everybody was a faithful, but I think Dylan was 100% sure within his gut that everybody here is a faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the circle of truth, everyone chooses to end the game. Mm-hmm. Everyone reveals that they are a faithful, and Alan reveals that Brittany was a traitor. So they all four won. Dolores, Ivar, Dylan, and Gabby.
Oh man, there
are winners.
Yeah, they are winners. Let's get to the reunion.
Okay, so we have the winners on stage. Yeah. Andy tells Dolores her votes did not make sense.
No.
She voted incorrectly 8 out of 10 times, and Dolores says that's just like her life.
Thank you.
Andy views her as savvy, and Dolores says she usually is, but the game just threw her off.
So she ain't know how to play, guys.
Right. They're trying to make Dylan this heartthrob. I don't get it. I mean, he's a good-looking guy, but I don't know.
You're black.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Gabby had great instincts in the castle. Mm-hmm. Ivar is surprised that he won, so was Ion. And because of how prepared Brittany was at the round table, he knew that she was a traitor. At the end, they all trusted each other to be faithfuls.
So basically, Ivar, bad game player. Dolores, bad game player. That's the fact that he even said, I'm surprised that I made it to the end. He knew he didn't deserve to be there at the end. Mm-hmm. Dolores knew she did not deserve to be there at the end. And that's what I'm saying. Y'all left too much meat. Y'all left too much fat on the bone. But I blame the traitors. I blame Danielle and all of them.
So the original traitors come onto the stage as well. So we've got Danielle, Carolyn, Rob, and Bob. The question is asked, why kill all the housewives at the beginning?
Facts.
Bob just admits that he has blood on his hands, Dolores and Ion. But I'm just like, Bob, I really wanted to hear the answer to that.
Yeah.
So we see clips of Carolyn versus Danielle. Danielle said working with Carolyn was getting things done, but it was very chaotic. Mm-hmm. Carolyn thought that they were working well together.
Okay.
Danielle didn't go after Rob because he had too much power. She wanted to weaken Rob by getting rid of Carolyn. And Carolyn did not want to be part of that survivor crew. She wanted to come in here, have her own individual experience. Carolyn knows that she's quirky. People rolled her eyes at her. It did hurt her feelings. She knows that it could help her in the game, but it still hurts because that's just who she is as a person.
Okay.
Carolyn didn't think that Danielle respected her. And Danielle agrees that they did have some communication issues. She was impressed with Carolyn's game. She's smart and clever, but her quirks definitely helped her. Gabby says that Carolyn's gameplay is true to herself. It's not an act or manipulation. And Gabby identifies with that because, people might think she's blonde and stupid and all these types of things. But because of their personality, as a woman, you're not taken seriously. And she doesn't think Carolyn was respected in the game at all.
And guess what? It could have been to her benefit. Like I said, it could have been to her benefit. She could have been the female Ivar, to where people just remember in the episode, I forget which episode it was, where they just totally forgot Ivar was there. Yeah. And they compared him to a piece of furniture, or somebody compared him to a piece of furniture, things like that. Carolyn could have been so much in the shadows, and y'all did not talk about the traitors, her quirkiness, the way that people dismiss her, to put her in the shadows. She may not be in the forefront to where she could convince people at the round table, but guess what? The fact that she's in the shadows and people forget about her, guess what? They will never think she's a traitor. Yeah. But y'all did not use y'all personalities and y'all and how different y'all are
as strength
to y'all ability and to y'all advantage and things like that. But it is what it is.
So we see the clip of Bob making his comment about a traitor being one of the new guys, then Rob attacking Bob at the round table.
Yeah.
Bob didn't even remember saying what he said about the new guys, and Danielle said it really wasn't that impactful. Rob can see now from the outside that it probably was just a throwaway comment, but it felt personal to him at the time. Bob was a dominating force, but he says that's how he always is, and he knew that Rob wanted to take the wheel as far as being the leader.
Yeah.
Rob doesn't know if he would have split the money with Carolyn, but he would have worked with her as long as he could.
Yeah.
Rob moved in on Bob because of the chain of events. Caused the chain of events of the Traitors going after Traitors, and he probably didn't have to go after Bob that quickly.
Yes, 100%.
But one thing I will say is that Bob talks too much.
Yeah.
And because Bob talks too much, he put himself in that situation. And I get people are saying it's a throwaway comment, but people are writing down notes. People are trying to put pieces of the puzzle together. And Bob, with all of his throwaway comments that he doesn't think are a big deal, people might start stringing things together. So I didn't fault it, but I agree that maybe it could have waited.
It could have waited, and now that we can watch it from our POV, maybe not this group of faithfuls. They don't write things down.
That's true.
Because this group of faithfuls was lost throughout the whole game. You get what I'm saying? The crumbs that were left behind for them to pick up was dropped by the Traitors. And I think eventually, I think Bob the drag queen does talk too much, but I think like his talking too much would have did himself in. I don't have to assist in that. You know what I'm saying? I just would let him dig his own ditch a little deeper and not attack so soon, you know?
Andy asked, why should anyone have kept Rob in the game? And Rob said, well, they should have kept him because he's loyal to his people and he will take them far. And Dylan knows that Rob always takes a rookie to the end and then offs them at the end.
Of course.
Danielle says that she was chaotic and messy as a traitor. Dolores did have street smarts, and Danielle was intimidated by that. Dolores swore on her family that she wasn't a traitor. That's when Danielle decided to swear on her grandkids more than once.
Yeah.
She felt like it was worth it because the money would have made a big impact for her family.
I don't care how many times y'all trying to make me feel bad that this woman swear on her grandkids that she's not a traitor. Listen, it's a game, guys.
Yeah.
Right? If she want to swear on her grandkids that, hey, I'm not a traitor, let her swear on her grandkids.
I think that's taking it too far, but at the end of the day, y'all shouldn't believe anybody anyway.
That's the whole point.
So.
Like my whole point is I'm lying altogether.
And Bob swore to God, and then he said he don't believe in God. So I'm just like, y'all can't believe people.
So that's why I'm like, this whole idea of trying to attach real things to Danielle character because of a game. I'm like, don't do that. Like Danielle, it was a game. She was supposed to be a villain. She's a traitor. You get what I'm saying? So I think she loves her grandkids. You got people out here saying that I think she don't love her grandkids and things like that. It's like, relax. It was a game, and she was just trying to win the money and win the game.
I still think it's wild, and I would look at your character funny if you do that.
I wouldn't, because guess what?
I'd be like, you really gonna do that for a game? That's a bit much.
Guess what? That's my mama. I'm swearing on my mama.
Well, your mama's not with us.
And that's what I'm saying. But my whole point is I'm swearing on my mama.
Okay.
I swear on my mama. Grave, I ain't no traitor. Okay. And guess what? You can feel however you want to feel. At the end of the day, that's my mama. You ain't got to have no feelings about it.
Okay.
You know?
So the question is asked, why not recruit Brittany and then just throw her under... why not recruit Brittany and then throw her to the wolves? And Carolyn said that it was clear that Brittany and Danielle made up. They were going to be working together, and she was going to be bottom of the totem pole when it came to that relationship.
Yeah, this whole thing made no sense. All of that I really did not care for, except for the main question that Andy asked to start off the segment. Why do y'all keep going after the housewives? Knowing that y'all can't talk, knowing that y'all not really good at the whole round table. And my thing is, y'all are gamers. Y'all are there to win the money, to win the competitions, right? But you need a housewife. It's good to have a housewife in your pocket that will defend you and talk. Maybe not a Dolores per se, but maybe a Robin. You get what I'm saying? But the whole idea of let's just get rid of the housewives makes no sense. There's no strategy behind it. The only strategy you have behind it is, well, you know, Phaedra was a traitor. It's like that's the only strategy behind it. Other than that, it makes no sense to me.
So Brittany joins them on stage, and Dolores says Brittany made up the I thing of I was looking at her to say that I was writing Danielle's name down. Well, Bob says, you know, Brittany didn't have to get rid of Danielle. Like, she didn't have to write her name down.
That is true.
Brittany said that she met Danielle probably 2 times prior to Reindeer Games, so they really weren't like good friends.
Yeah, Danielle was playing that up weird.
She wishes that she wasn't in that position and didn't have to make that choice because she was genuinely heartbroken. Danielle doesn't have any animosity towards Brittany, but she did do the same thing to Bob, so she does get it. But she never secretly told Brittany she was a traitor, and although she doesn't have any issues with her, she does know that she can't trust her in any games moving forward. And I'm like, but you shouldn't anyway, because you don't know this. Like, why do you think Brittany owes you something? Like, I really don't get that.
It's weird, and that's what I'm saying. You're not even listening to your teammate. Your teammate at the time was Carolyn, and Carolyn said, don't bring her in. So, like, the whole idea that, like, oh, you know what? I know next time, for the third time, I'm not going to trust you. I swear on my grandkids, I'm not going to trust you. It's like you missed the whole point of the game. Why are you trusting a faithful?
Right.
You're a traitor. Get rid of people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So we've got Derek, Wes, Nikki, Trishelle, and Tom joining the stage. Trishelle regrets targeting Nikki, and it really shook her confidence to speak up more throughout the rest of the game.
Oh my god, I would have attacked that. I would have attacked that as a traitor. I would have attacked that every day.
How so?
By making her seem like a traitor and get them to vote her out.
Making Trishelle seem like a traitor.
Yeah. I would have kept my hands clean on people like that. I'm not gonna waste my time as a traitor to get rid of them. I'm only going after strong players. I'm gonna get the faithfuls to get rid of the extra fat and things like that. I'd be like,
that's smart.
So whole time you telling me Nikki was a faithful, and you over here that was your best friend, and you willing to turn your back on your best friend?
That sounds like a traitor.
I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying. I swear on my grandkids, that sounds crazy.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we had nobody who. Guess what? The traitors wasn't gamers. The faithful wasn't gamers. Everybody was just there for a good time. It seemed like.
Rob didn't want to get Nikki out because they worked well together, and he had to blame Trishelle, anybody but him. That's pretty much his motto when it comes to the games. Yeah. Wes was voted out. He was mad because, he's just a bitter guy. That's just him. Rob is the greatest player since he got me out, I guess. Wes says that it takes courage to end the game with that many people, and he would have been getting more people out if he was left at the end.
I ain't gonna hold you. Me too.
And also, I mean, I think it was the second season of Traitors where I think they all knew, like, all three of them were faithfuls, but they voted MJ out, and I think it was just so they could have more of the prize money. Yeah. So they didn't have to split it 3 ways.
Dude, you know what I would have did?
What?
I would have, guess what? Dolores is a follower, right?
Yeah.
I would have been like, hey, Ivar, I think, like, you was right. One of the women is a traitor. I would have got at least one more woman out. At least one more. And then, matter of fact, 2 more. I would have got Gabby out, right? And then we would have turned on Dolores.
Yeah.
like it just that plain and simple. We just would have turned on Dolores. Like, thank you, Dolores, for voting for us, voting with us for saying Gabby is a traitor. Now we think you're a traitor, and then
Thank you for your services.
Exactly.
So we get to the rest of the cast joining the stage. Dorinda was unalive first. She thinks that they were pretty smart. She's pretty fierce. She doesn't get the shady comments that Bob made after the fact about, like, who is Dolores? I don't know these people, all that type of stuff. Yeah. And Bob said that he doesn't dislike her. He really didn't know who she was, and he never had to diminish anybody to make himself feel better. Okay. Ion feels like Bob was jealous of her because she was funny and she was going to get more camera time. Well, Bob asked her, when is your comedy special coming out? I'll support you. I have 2 out right now myself. Okay. And to be honest, was Bob possibly being shady? Possibly. But I don't think that was in specific, like trying to put down Dorinda. Maybe, yeah. I think that's just Bob's personality. Yeah. I think he's just a rough around the edges, jokey type of person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I kind of agree with Bob. Like, y'all probably shouldn't take Bob too seriously. Don't take Bob too seriously. Yeah. So Bob doesn't have anything against anyone. Ion apparently made a lot of good friends there. Wells and Ion are good friends. He says she's a beautiful person inside and out. Bob H was one of the best dressed in the castle, and he thinks Boston Rob was one of the worst dressed. Sierra says Rob was really hot from back in the day, and I saw some of those videos. Rob was a looker, and he still has a nice looking face. Tony called Rob a sellout. It was an unspoken bond that you stick with the survivors. He got jumped at the round table, and Rob gave him a cheap jab at the end. Jeremy at the time didn't see the strategy for Bob and Rob getting him out, but he told Bob that Dylan was after him, and Bob was like, well, now I know better now.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say the game over now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Derek did some great investigative work, but people didn't believe him. Tom was clueless a lot, and Sierra thinks that he just had his own method. Derek says, I told you that Bob said that he would say he was framed. And Dylan says, well, I did say Bob at the round table to honor you, but Derek was like, but you said Brittany. Like, why are you, like, adding stuff?
Exactly. Like, Like, that's what I'm saying. Dylan, the fact that y'all made Dylan a winner this season, Traitors, is wild to me.
Well, he did the work.
Who? Dylan?
Yeah.
What work did he do?
He was likable.
No. You're telling me I wasted all my time. Understand. Every day I leave you alive, you grow your influence, right? You tell me all this time you kept Dylan alive. I would have kept a round table of people who are just terrible faithfuls. I would have had Tom alive. I would have had it's just the whole idea. Dylan though, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, but Bob H is annoyed of Rob and Dylan's relationship because he wanted to be best friends with Dylan.
Okay.
So how did Sam come up with asking what Alan was wearing after the face-to-face unaliving? And Sam pretty much just said it made the most sense, but Tom ruined it. And Tom, in his explanation, he assumed that Alan would have talked to everybody that day, so they all would have seen what he was wearing. But he gets that he probably should have just shut up.
And guess what? Like Blair said, having bad faithfuls will ruin the game.
Yeah.
Sam, that was probably one of the smartest things I've seen that season.
It was.
One of the smartest things. And guess what? When you have a Dolores or when you have a Tom, they will poo-poo on even the faithful plans.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? That's why I would have kept them alive. Because guess what? At least I know as long as I keep Tom in the game, guess where Dolores' vote is going to?
To Tom. And you're safe. Safe another week in Dolores' hands. So then we get to basically who had the worst acting of the season or the best performance. They said Danielle. And
wild.
All of the winners enjoyed their experience.
Now, I would say best performance was Danielle. I would have got her out based off of her performance.
Yeah.
I would have been, why is she crying like this over a game? You a traitor.
She was shaking on the ground, and Alan said, everybody back to their chairs, please.
Yeah, she was like, I knew it. I told y'all. I knew it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, girl, relax.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen here. I say Danielle, worst traitor of all time until next season. Next season, I hope they will have to do something with the housewives. Maybe they need to have less housewives on there because they are going to target the housewives. This is too much. This is becoming too much of a theme. Of getting the housewives out first, And I would say for the housewives game, that's not fair. To where the game could be rigged to where at least the first couple votes and things like that, you're just focusing on the housewives. And that means that I potentially can't make a housewife a traitor ever in the show because they're going to automatically go after them. So they got to do something with that because that's a problem. You get what I'm saying? Anything else?
That's all we got.
Hey, we see y'all next season, maybe, because listen, I'm too emotionally invested, and I don't like to review shows that I'm emotionally invested in.
Okay.
See y'all.
Bye.